Aiden, and tonight we are going to make one of our favorite old dishes. It's called pasta, pass the pasta, because I've been making it for years and it's just delicious, and that's what we call it. So pasta. So I've got tortellini, which is a really lovely noodle. See how cute? So cute. But it's really nice for this particular dish. You can use any pasta you have on hand. This will work no matter what. I'm not going to make all of it, because that's a lot. A little bit more. Okay, so that's going to cook. That takes about, 10 or 12 minutes to cook. You're going to check it. Just make sure that when you check it, you just take out one noodle at a time and run it under cold water so that you don't burn yourself, because the hot water is going to get into the middle, of course, of that pasta. So there's their water. This is how fast this meal is. So I already had some meat in the freezer, so I took the meat out. I think that's probably pork. So I've got olive oil. I'm going to turn the heat on max. I'm going to pour in a bunch of olive oil. That's going to be delish. And then I don't want you to be shocked at the amount of basil that we use, because I use a lot. So I just pour it in. We're going to pretty much cover the bottom. See, it's a lot. It looks like a lot, doesn't it? But it's going to be so delicious. And then I use Montreal steak spice, and not so much of that, just a little. A couple of little shakes, because you don't want it to be too salty. So I'm going to put that in and then stir that around. Can you see what that looks like when you stir it? So see how it soaks into the olive oil. And then I'm going to add the meat. I'll put the meat in there. You can make this vegetarian. You don't need to have any meat, but it's nice with meat. If you like meat, then this is a nice thing to do. If you have leftover turkey or any kind of meat, but if you have leftover turkey, it's a fabulous meal for that. But you're just going to stir that into the basil. Just going to put that around here. Stir that into the basil. See how nice? And then, you know what? We're almost done. This is how easy this sauce is. So when we are making a great big pork roast or turkey or anything like that, we just put the meat that we don't use, we put it into little baggies and pop it in the freezer. So this is just diced tomatoes. So the diced are really nice with this because you want it to feel fresh. I only use the crushed tomatoes if I'm making a really nice thick meat sauce, if you're using hamburger meat, then I'll use the crushed tomatoes. But other than that, I really like the diced tomatoes because they're just lovely and fresh. So there we go. That is our sauce. So we're just going to cover that and let that cook. Let me just put the cover on that. There we go. I'm going to bring that to a boil, and then I'll turn it down to, I'll probably just turn it straight down to low. And then we're just going to let this cook. And we're going to go watch a little bit of Lottery Dream Home, which we love with David. We love David so much. It's on, I think it's on HGTV probably, but we love it. So we're just going to watch a little show, and then we'll come back and our dinner will be ready.